So I've looked at all these people who were born in 1986. It's so interesting. We have Megan Fox, we have Amber Heard, we have Leighton Meester, we have the Olsen twins. So let's look into the Olsen twins next. So they've got the psychic movement of Virgo. Virgo means are very good at doing what they do. They really look into things. They're very anxious about things and won't let things go. So it can make them feel very frustrated, but they get things done. Virgo is a planet and a sign. Well, it's a sign. He's really good at getting things done. We have Beyonce, we have Freddie Mercury, we have Amy Winehouse. They say this all the time, the world needs Virgo. The world needs Virgo energy. But what I noticed with all these women, the Megan Fox, the Amber Heard, they all went into older men. And that is the Mars in Capricorn. I know Megan Fox isn't with someone now who's older, but she has been, yeah? So we have that Virgo moon, and it's tipping between the second and first house. So that's a very psychic moon with the ascendant in Leo on that cusping bit. That's a very psychic moon, and because it's in the first house, it's intuitive, it feels things. That's why when they left Hollywood and became into the fashion world, it was very painful to them, and they talk about that, and they never went back to it, and they're very reclusive now because they spent all their time in the spotlight as children, and it was painful for them. And you can see that here with the fifth house, which is Leo, is to do with trauma, and then Neptune's in there too, and it's cusping between the Capricorn and the Sagittarius. They were everywhere as children, and the Neptune signifies the pain, and then the Saturn in the fourth house is to do with family ties, the mother. I don't know much about the Olsen's mother. I've seen their dad in a few interviews, but they've got a lot of planet in retrogrades because they were born not long before Lindsay. They were born in June, she was born in the July. So you see this here with the Saturn in the fourth house, and the Pluto there on the edge of the fourth house. It's just on coming from the third into the fourth house. So the Saturn, that's the pain with the father, but it's in the house of the mother, the family ties, the family on a deeper soul level, It's also the house that rules the moon because it's Cancer. And then you got what I noticed about all these people, the Chiron being in Gemini, and that's your peers and things like that, and the communication, they're all a little bit lone wolf, but they went into career into something they love, fashion. So their fashion is very out there, but it's really good quality couture. And then their midheaven is in Taurus, and Taurus is always about luxury items. It's ruled by Venus, and also their north node there, well, it's in Aries, but it's aspecting the midheaven. So you can see that that's their calling for them, and it's in the ninth house of higher learning, opposite to the third house of Pluto, And then the ascendant, you see that with them, how they look. They were loved by all the Leo, the charm, the little kids, how they played Michelle Tanner. And then their Venus is in the 12th house. I've got this placement, Venus in Cancer in the 12th house, but with their Mercury. So their love life's very secretive, and it's in opposition to their Mars in Capricorn in the 6th house, which is to do with health. So action and that of health. There's going to be maybe issues there, but also a lot of action, and their 6th house is ruled by the bones, so there could be problems with the bones. I don't know about them. I don't know if they've had health issues, but I know one of them suffered with anorexia. EDs, trigger warning there, sorry. And it's oppositing the Venus, so when you've got that Mars opposition to your Venus, that's quite a big aspect, because they're the two sides of you, the masculine and feminine. And it's just so interesting to me that these women all have such similar things going on for them in different ways, obviously, but the pain and the fact that they're lone people, they don't have many people close to them because they find it hard to trust. They've had traumatic childhood, or they've had some traumatic experience that made them spiral a bit. So that is for the Olsens, and I'm going to do all of these women, and then I'm going to show you a bit more of the Olsens. Here we go. So you see Sun there in Gemini, Moon in Virgo, so there's a square there already, Sun square Moon, that's a hard aspect to have. Squares are really significant in charts and they show up in the personality, so they're very conflicted between their Sun and the Moon sign. The Mercury is in Cancer, along with the Venus in Cancer, which squares the Mars there, so they got a lot of square aspects. So the Jupiter in Pisces, that could be the ED issues, the drinking issues, and then look, there's the retrogrades there in the Mars and Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, North Node, and then the ascendants in Leo, obviously. So here we go, first house containing the Moon, the psychic mood, second house is Virgo, where it starts, third house containing Pluto. That means you're very good at with a deep soul connection with like I said, the Gemini aspects of a chart. Fourth house containing Saturn, like I said, the father, but also the mother. Fifth house containing Uranus and Neptune. Well, the unpredictability of their child. The Neptune is like Venus on steroids, I believe, and many other astrologers believe that. So it's a little pain. They didn't want to go back to the things they did. And then like the sixth house in Mars. And then if you pause for a minute, have a look at the rest of these things and you'll see, and then you know the certain degrees and stuff here. But it's just so interesting to me, this 1986